Some stories are never finished. They're just filed away. Welcome to Chronicles of the Obscure. On the evening of October 21st, 1978, a routine flight across Australia's Bass Strait turned into one of aviation's most perplexing mysteries. The man at the controls was 20-year-old Frederick Valentich. A young pilot with about 150 hours of flying time, Valentich was passionate about aviation, though his record wasn't perfect. He had previously failed some license exams and been involved in a few minor incidents. On this particular evening, he was flying a single-engine Cessna 182, call sign Delta Sierra Juliet, from Melbourne to King Island, a small island just off the coast of Tasmania. It was a simple flight, one he hoped would add to his night flying experience. But what happened in the skies that night was anything but simple. The weather was clear, visibility was good, everything was set for a textbook flight. Valentich took off without a hitch and headed south over the water. For the first half hour, everything was normal. Then, at 7:06 p.m., he radioed Melbourne Air Traffic Control. What started as a simple query would soon escalate into a conversation that has been debated for over 40 years. He reported seeing an unidentified aircraft. He described it as having 4 bright lights and said it was approaching him at high speed. The air traffic controller, Steve Roby, confirmed there was no known traffic in his vicinity. Valentich's voice grew more strained as he described the object's bizarre movements. He said it was long, metallic, and passed over him at an incredible speed. The situation was escalating. The object seemed to be toying with him, orbiting above his Cessna. He reported it was playing some sort of game, flying over him 2 or 3 times at speeds he couldn't identify. Then came one of the most chilling parts of the transmission. Valentich reported that his engine was beginning to run rough. He tried to describe the craft again, his voice filled with a mix of confusion and alarm. It seems to me that he's playing some sort of game. He's flying over me 2, 3 times at a time at speeds I could not identify. The controller asked him to confirm he could not identify the aircraft. Valentich's reply was firm. It's not an aircraft. Those 3 words hung in the air, a definitive statement that defied all conventional explanation. The object then vanished for a moment, only to reappear on his other side. The strangeness intensified. Valentich reported that the object was now hovering, and it wasn't an aircraft. His last clear words were that his engine was coughing and he was proceeding to King Island. Then, the transmission was interrupted by 17 seconds of an inexplicable, metallic scraping sound before cutting out completely. Silence. Delta Sierra Juliet was gone. An immediate and massive search and rescue operation was launched. Air Force planes, civilian aircraft, and boats scoured the Bass Strait for any sign of Valentich or his Cessna. For 4 days, they searched an area of over 1,000 square miles, hoping to find a life raft, an oil slick, or any piece of wreckage. They found nothing. Not a single trace of the plane or its pilot was ever recovered. It was as if they had simply vanished from the sky. The complete lack of evidence only deepened the mystery and fueled widespread speculation. The official investigation concluded that the cause of disappearance was undetermined. Without wreckage, without a body, the case was left open, a blank page in the annals of aviation history. So, what happened to Frederick Valentich? 3 main theories emerged. The first, and most favored by aviation authorities, is pilot disorientation. The theory suggests that Valentich, an inexperienced night pilot, became spatially disoriented. The lights he saw could have been the stars or city lights reflecting off the water, and in his confusion, he may have put the Cessna into what's known as a graveyard spiral, flying upside down while believing he was level. In this state, the lights he thought were above him could have been his own reflection on the water below. The rough engine and scraping sounds could have been the result of the plane breaking apart under extreme stress as it plummeted into the sea. This explanation is plausible, but it doesn't fully account for the detailed, specific descriptions he gave over the radio, or his insistence that it's not an aircraft. The second theory, and the one that captured the public's imagination, is that Valentich encountered a UFO. His father revealed that Frederick had a deep interest in unidentified flying objects and had even claimed to have seen one before. Several witnesses on the ground near the flight path reported seeing strange lights in the sky that same night, some describing a green light moving erratically. Could Valentich have been the victim of an alien abduction? While it sounds like science fiction, the strange movements of the object, its incredible speed, and Valentich's own terrified descriptions make it a compelling, if extraordinary, possibility. The metallic scraping sound at the end of the transmission has been interpreted by some as the sound of his aircraft being physically manipulated by an unknown force. The third theory is that it was all a deliberate hoax. Some have suggested that Valentich, perhaps facing career or personal difficulties, staged his own disappearance. The theory posits that he had a pre-arranged rendezvous point where he could ditch the plane and escape to start a new life. There was even a report of a light aircraft landing unofficially near Cape Otway around the time of his disappearance. However, there's no solid evidence to support this. His family and friends insist he was a happy young man with no reason to run away. Furthermore, orchestrating such a perfect disappearance, leaving absolutely no trace behind, would have been an incredibly difficult feat. Decades later, the disappearance of Frederick Valentich remains one of the most debated cold cases in Australian history. The official report leans towards pilot error, but the public remains captivated by the more mysterious possibilities. The lack of any physical evidence means that no theory can be proven or disproven. We are left only with a haunting radio transmission and a string of unanswered questions. Was he a disoriented pilot lost in the dark? Did he orchestrate an elaborate escape? Or did he encounter something truly unknown in the skies over the Bass Strait, something that wasn't an aircraft? The story of Delta Sierra Juliet is a chilling reminder that even in our modern world, some stories are never finished. They are simply filed away, waiting in the archives of the obscure. Disorientation, hoax, or something else? Let us know what you think happened to Frederick Valentich in the comments below. And if you find these unsolved mysteries as fascinating as we do, make sure to subscribe to Chronicles of the Obscure. Thanks for watching.